should just do the intro then, right?
Whenever you're ready.
Me. Give you a little countdown on where to start and where to begin. All right. All right. Hello and welcome, my legends. This is TSK's Apexual Healing podcast, where we feed you some chicken noodle soup to the apexual rager deep down inside your soul. We're your hosts, TSK Niz and TSK Blkcubes. We're just two guys that live and pay taxes in this world, but we also love playing the hell out of some Apex Legends. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, so let's drop hot and get us started.
Was that a practice?
No, that was just it.
No, that was terrible.
That was terrible?
Yeah, you sounded like you were reading. Literally, I thought you were practicing. I was like, that's a good practice.
It's good practice? Okay. Well, how?
I would just say try to do it with a little more
I was like trying to channel my inner Rain Day, if anything. I was like watching a bunch of his videos. I was like, okay, just sound kind of white, right? Kind of white. I don't know. All right, we'll work on that. If I have to do it later, and then you just turn it around. Hello, and welcome. So I was kind of like looking up at the ceiling too. I don't know how to make it seem conversational. Hi and welcome. Hello.
It's less about conversational and more about like.
Because it's gonna be something that is gonna be played over and over again.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
right?
But nobody's gonna be listening to it over and over again.
That's why, like, you know, it's something when you play. All right, you play a podcast in your car. You listen to the intro. You hear it once, hear it twice. You know what the intro is. You just let it play through. It's not like you're really listening to the intro unless you like the jingle in the background, which you'll have a pretty beat. You'll have a pretty sweet beat in the background, anyways, and they'll listen to it anyways. So it's like, regardless, I don't know. Like, I understand what you're saying as far as if I need to clean it up, the audio, like my speech or whatnot, but like as far as the how you want it to sound, I'm still trying to figure out. That's the part that confuses me. If that's what you're thinking about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's a record. Like it again. Like this is something you should. If you take the sound clip, you should keep it, and then use it over and over with the intro of the beat. Because you're not going to change the music all the time, are you?
No.
Yeah, that's just too much work.
Something different.
As far as what?
You might wind up making a joke that's like an equation joke that you add a new thing to the equation or replace something each time. Like instead of tax paying, it might be buy a cheeseburger. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's why I said pay taxes, because it's a generic thing that everyone does, and to connect. You know, that's it. It doesn't have to.
Tell that to Trump.
Change. Tell that to Trump.
We all pay our taxes and play Apex right here.
Yes, sir. Tell that shit to Trump. I mean, then if you want me to use if you have a different general idea, that's fine too. I can change that pay taxes part, but we'll do it now. But okay. It's just a saying.
Just try one more run through.
It's a recording, but the recording is that, like, take that snippet, keep it, and that's the intro, you know.
Okay. Give it
if
a
you need
try.
To start
go one more time. I'm already recording. All this has been recorded. I want to try that.
Rubber baby bunker.
Damn, I was trying to do that, but that juice is too good.
No, you just had to say it's too good. It's too good. Massage your jowls.
Jowls. Jowls. Jules.
Alright. I'm gonna do it, okay? I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it, bro. Doing it.
3,
Yo,
2.
what's... Hello and welcome to TSK's Apexual Healing Podcast, where we give you chicken noodle soup to the Apexual Rager inside of your soul. We're TSK Niz and TSK Blkcubes, and we're your hosts in this epic journey through the Outlands. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, so let's get it started.
Oh, it's so good, too. I think the thing that I'm trying to tell you is not that it sounds boring, is that I think that there are parts where you can accentuate more. Like, when you're coming up to, like, you can pretty much say most things pretty fast until you're coming up to the point of the show, which is the chicken noodle soup for the Rager inside. So you can, like, draw that one out a little slower and then speed back up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your accentuation.
So, like, what I'm saying is, like, we're here to feed you some chicken noodle soup for the Apexual Rager inside of you.
Yeah.
Some shit like that?
Yeah. Exactly.
To accentuate that, to emphasize.
Yeah, exactly. That way you're just not speeding through it to just say it like cue cards that you remember. Got you.
All right. We're gonna get through it. That's okay. Yeah, is anyone jumping into your fucking stream right now? Talk about what the fuck am I listening to?
No, they're not. I haven't shared it. Nobody jumps into my.
Putting an eye in the sky.
This is gonna be the day that 15 people jump in and are like, what the hell?
I came here to see some kills.
Alright, give him.
Switching to drone view. Watch my back. Backing out of my drone. I'm good to go.
Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. What was that? That's like high-pitched shit. Sorry. Okay, give me a quick countdown on your end because I'm sitting here giving myself a countdown and I'm like blah, 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 blah. Okay, go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to TSK's Apexual Healing Podcast, where we feed you some chicken noodle soup to the Apexual Rager inside of your soul. We're your hosts, TSK Niz and TSK Blkcubes. We're just two guys that live and pay taxes, but we also love playing the hell out of some Apex Legends. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, so let's get it stop popping and drop hot.
Okay, we'll just record it at the end.
Yo, fuck.
Good intro.
They were pretty good up until I stumbled. I felt the stumble. Was it alright though up until that?
It was great up until that like part where
Fuck
now
my
it's just
ass.
like the very end, so it's like
Yeah. Alright. So then we'll have like let's see, season. Alright. So we have that. That's gonna be our little cue right there on the cut. And then we joined into the thing. So, how was your week today, Cubes? What's going on, man?
Oh, man.
Today is, what day is today? Today is Sunday, March 6th, right? Episode 1, Apexual Healing Podcast. Are you excited?
I am extremely excited, dude. This is tight as hell.
All right, man. I'm really getting this thing fucking started.
It took
We've been
a while,
working on
but
this
here
for,
we go.
yeah, it has. It's true. We've been working on this a long time. We've been talking about it a long time, putting things on paper, trying to just get the right flow. But
I tell
yeah,
you
man.
what, it's not hard. It's just that life kind of has a way of clearing your fucking to-do list and giving you more shit that it wants you to do.
Right.
You're like,
Stuff you didn't ask for, right?
Yeah, you're like, I got my
Stuff
whole
you-
day planned, and then your tire blows out.
Blows
You're
out.
like, well.
Rent's due, eviction notice, car getting towed.
Yeah.
Or is that too real for some people? That could be too real for some people. You never know, man.
Oh, man. Let me be fake then.
Hey, I tell you what, that's how normal and real we are. And we, you know what? There's always a way to kind of get away from stuff like that. And what do? We kind of like distract ourselves with some video games. And we love Apex Legends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about you, Niz? How's your week been? You been alright?
Week's been interesting, man. I can't even lie to you. Finished my last week at my former job, starting a new week at a new job tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
But you know, it goes to to show about life's fulfillments and what you do. You know, I had a good time at first. It was fun, and I was chilling and making good money. But then when you realize, hold on a second, the longevity of this, it doesn't equate to my happiness. I just decided, man, it was time for a change. So
that's a major thing. I don't think a lot of people get that opportunity or space or privilege to make that decision, man. I'm glad you were able to take that.
Yes.
Your happiness is above all, most important.
Happiness is above all, and maybe
Apex.
Exactly another reason why we play Apex. You know, and then not only that, hopefully the move-in job will offer me some free time and more time to really focus on this cast, and you know, hopefully we get to interact with a lot of our fans, and we get a good community built, and the interaction will, you know, that will really make it count in itself.
I agree completely. I look forward to meeting some people who want to listen to my voice randomly on the internet.
We do have that. I'm sure we'll find them. All we need are a couple thousand, and we have that group, and we'll get it popping.
We can take over the world.
We take over the world. All right. So this first episode, I believe we wanted to take a good look at some pubs play. Pubs, lobbies, why pubs is important. What's good about pubs? I mean, it's just random. I mean, should we take it seriously, right? How do you feel? Should we take pubs, lobbies seriously?
Well, I really feel like I have a long-winded answer on that, so I'll try
That's-
to let's see if I can.
That's a
shorten
good.
it
Let's
up.
try to cut it up in pieces. How about that? Well, instead of trying to give it all, we'll attack different points. So let's start with your first observation on it. What would you start with?
Well, I think one, pubs is really good to learn how to gather yourself emotionally.
Right.
Because we'll do hot drops, and you do enough hot drops, you get fucking tilted, man. You know, like your whole attitude just shifts, and it's really hard to make positive decisions that benefit you if your attitude's kind of out of whack.
Right.
So I think
And let me jump in real quick, just to say, in case we have anybody who's listening and really has never really played Apex before, and you're getting started, the hot drop is essentially where I'd say about 50% of the lobby is probably going to land, and it's basically a war zone for the first 3 minutes of this game, and if you're not prepared for it, you're going down. You're gonna be that one guy that everyone sees who's just standing there looking at the corner, spinning in circles, and that streamer just slaps in the head with a mastiff or something. But yeah, you have to be aware of your surroundings, and luckily Apex has given us some new lines about that. But I'm sorry, go on. You were saying about dropping hot and getting your ass whooped, basically.
Well, I think one of the bigger parts of not just video gaming, but really achieving anything in your life is keeping a clear, level-headed, approach to the thing that you're interacting with. And,
right. You want to make sure you remember, it's a game, for one.
Yeah, and sometimes that can distract people or kind of take them out of the zone, and then you get tilted. You start making bad decisions. You start yelling at teammates. You start blaming other people, and there's no real accountability. So, dropping in pubs, I think, is a good opportunity to practice emotional support for your teammate.
Well, maybe even emotional accountability as well, like you just mentioned. I mean, you have to come to grips sometimes that what you did may not have been the smartest thing. Like maybe you rushed, like I find myself in front of the rock instead of behind the rock or whatever building, in front of the wall instead of behind the wall. Next thing you know, you get lasered and you're like, what? What happened? But what happened was you were in cover and you got lasered by someone who had way awesome aim. So so sometimes just being able to come to grips with your own shortcomings, I think that comes a short way too, and just accepting and being like, all right, I messed up, do it again. Don't do it again.
How do you feel about taking responsibility for actions in a public match?
It's an ego thing, I think, that a lot of people have to combat with. on their own personal level. When let me see, 8 out of 10 times I'll say it was my fault. The game doesn't suck. The game isn't broken. It's my fault. I'm just bad. But there's like maybe one time I'll be like, this can't be right. I've just been cheated. I've done everything right up until this moment, only to not succeed. What happened? Like, so that happens very rarely. But I've come to grips at this point that if I mess up, if I look at my surroundings and see that I'm, for example, like I said, in front of the wall instead of behind the wall, shit on me. That's what it is.
What do you think the benefits of that are? Like, how do you...
Well, that's how you learn. That's exactly how you learn. When you're able to identify that, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, you have something to focus on to not do. So when you're in combat situations, you're like, okay, stay behind the wall. Don't wander too far to where you can accidentally end up in front of the wall. You're more aware of those things now than before, because before, when you were just in the battle shooting bang 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 bang, all of a sudden you get put down and you didn't even realize that you actually wandered out into the open, out of your cover, out of your safe zone, and you've just been dropped. So that's I think, if you're able to accept that you made that mistake, then the next step can be not, finding ways to correct that mistake so you don't make that mistake. It's a training tool. You can identify your weak point to practice it so you don't do it. It's a great way to. That's how I interpret that. Anyways, what she said, and I
completely agree.
I'll tell you one thing I like to use pubs for, and I think it's important, is learning the layout. I mean, map layout, right? I think that's super important. Learning where your points of interest are, certain rotations that you like to take. You get used to one spot, landing there, and how to loot. I think it's more efficient as well. I think that helps your loot trail, I guess you can say, as you're making your way around the areas, and you're just like, you already know where all the loot is. You can just glance and see if that's what you want. If you don't want it, you keep running.
Because looting is a skill in itself in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, 100%. I think it was you who even brought that up to me. I didn't even consider it as a skill, essentially, until you kind of started detailing the aspects of it. And you're like, wow, absolutely right. Being aware of what you grab, what you're having, on the fly, we're talking about, dude. On the fly, too. We're just choo-choo-choo.
It really breaks down the time. That's like one of the most important aspects of playing this game is time. And that's another thing I think happens in pubs. Okay, so pubs definitely has a different mentality versus rank, but you can still apply the same similar thinkings when it comes to like timings for fights before the third party comes.
Absolutely, because darn tootin' well, pubs or ranked, it doesn't matter. Third parties are coming. They hear gunfire, people are coming. So in your head, which I think is a great lead into what you just said, in your head you should start developing a bit of a battle clock, right? I think that I'm kind of just spitballing here, kind of freestyling off the top. Right? TM that the battle clock in your brain needs to start going off. Beep, the stopwatch is kicked. You're fighting right now, because at any given moment, hey man, snipers are coming, archers are coming, pathfinders, octanes, they're all about to pour down your throat, ready to take those kills.
What are some things that you think block that battle clock from happening? Sometimes I'll end up getting in a fight, and then I'll be aware at the start of the fight that there's going to be a third party, and then all of a sudden I crack a shield or I hit 100 in a grenade, and now I'm like, I completely forgot about that.
And as you're saying that, I'm trying to run the sequences in my head, and I think there'll come a time in the battle where everyone kind of needs to heal, right? And in that moment, I think it should be a bailout call. Like, when I mean everyone, I just mean everyone on your squad. Like, you're healing.
So much for that one.
You're healing. I'm healing. And then I look at if all three of us are healing at one point, then we need to start thinking about an escape plan. We got to get out of this fight. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we're we've been getting hit up, and I'm just kind of, again, I wasn't really ready to talk about this because it just came up, but now that you're bringing it up, I'm kind of spitballing the situation here. I mean, like, you're fighting, bang, 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 we're all taking cover and healing. We need to start coming up with an escape plan rather than a counter attack. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
In my personal opinion, I feel like that starts happening the first time somebody has to pop a shield back.
Okay, then even that, then even that.
All have to back out, but like backing out should already be like within the idea of one of your pushers gets hit hard enough to have to take a back.
Then we'll take that. I mean, I'll accept that if that's the case. You know, if one guy has to back down all the way, all the way, and it's like, yo, I'm one hit, I got to pop a Phoenix. Okay, maybe we should rethink this. You know, because now you're going in 2v1. You know, you always got that guy who can go in there and probably solo it, whatever. But if we're talking about just tactical stuff, if you guys really want to, if we're playing team squad games here, and Rambo isn't on your team, what are you gonna do? You got to regroup, right? You got to regroup.
I'd even argue that even if you did have a Rambo, y'all should still be, because yeah. What about the third party?
Tell Rambo that. But so that's where I'm going into. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the moment this large healing cycle needs to take place, that should be the timer going off, saying we got to go. Let someone else deal with these guys, especially if you're in the double-digit squads left area still.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you?
I think that might have to do with it too. Now that I think about it.
I feel like a lot of the things we were saying kind of should have been prefaced by saying the purpose of playing pubs. Because you can enter into a pub just for fun, and that's absolutely okay. But then there's also entering into pubs with the intent to learn. And I think that changes what you're looking for from it.
Right. Well, you know, yes, the object of the game is for fun. Purpose, we should have prefaced it. We should have fun. This game is supposed to be fun. But in turn, on the flip side of that same coin, the way you have fun is to kind of succeed in eliminating your enemy from the game. So you don't want to be the one who's continuously being eliminated, because the fun may not come right away.
Yeah.
As long as you're motivated enough to, you'll get better, and you know, not everyone has had the benefit of the firing range every single season. Us Season 0 players remember a time when we had to just keep diving in and keep diving in and keep diving in to improve our skills. But yes, the main purpose is to have fun, and then on top of that, we want to keep that fun going, that fun ball rolling, as you say, by, being the one who's doing the eliminating and not being eliminated.
I guess to be more direct on what I mean is establishing a purpose before you enter into a pubs. Like deciding yourself, if I'm just booting up pubs just to push on everything and not really caring about anything, or am I starting this pub to work on a specific thing? Do I want to work on my movement? Do I want to focus on using cover this game? Like, kind of defining your purpose before you enter the game can help you, level up your skill.
Right. So the airing of this podcast is going to be rough. It's going to be season 12, and in season 12, Apex players were we were given control, a game mode control, right? And in this game mode, it allowed us to just kind of continuously drop or spawn Call of Duty style and go into battle and just shoot it out, and it kind of gave you a preloaded loadout, but you're able to get in there and you're able to just get battle action in your face right away without having to load up and loot and then look for a fight. And I think that was a big step in Apex Legends in giving us that. I like that a lot.
I agree. I think that allowed a lot more casual gamers to have an opportunity to get better at the game.
If they keep bringing out modes like that, I'll tell you what, the Apex game base will definitely grow, because that alone already brought mad people. Apparently, like I was seeing so many new accounts, whether they're Smurfs or not, I have no clue. But I was seeing accounts that were like level 32s, not even level 100s yet. You know, with their single Valkyrie or with no kills, no wins, no nothing. But they're just playing Control because it's just a way to get in there and see what the game is all about, the movement. Which I can guarantee the movement in this game is unlike any other.
Yo,
that I played.
I think one of the things you said just sparked an idea in me. Like, honestly, with more game modes like that, there will be less Smurf accounts because people who Smurf generally just want to go in and beat up on other people. If you have something like Control, it's much easier for you to just go in and randomly beat up on someone.
Yeah, if you want to beat up on someone, go in there, bully the lobby around, get your badges for it or whatnot, and respawn into the next one. I really made no bones about it when I kept getting smashed, especially how you and I started the season, you know, with our little rules and shit. But we went into it doing our best, and we knew. Like, this goes into like how this can tie into our having fun. We knew what we wanted to get out of it. We knew what to expect was going to happen. I mean, you take off aim assist for 3 weeks in a game like that, and you're playing against sweats. We were basically taking magnetic bullet shots to the face.
Yeah, that was so ridiculous.
It's very painful. I totally accept the pain and that came with that, though. I knew what was going to happen. But then we got better. Right? And then we started like montaging it. We just kept telling ourselves, it's our montage.
Yeah.
And little by little, you know, you accept the downfalls and you thrive off of your victories. And every time I lasered someone, it felt delicious.
It really did. I feel that exact statement. Can you use our practice in the framework of pubs, like us doing the turning off our aim assist? How would you liken that to the ability to get better in pubs? Because not everybody might want to go that hardcore, but I still feel like it was a very useful thing.
Well, what it made me more aware of was it in itself. Okay, so like one of the things that made it so easy to do it in Control was that our stats and KD and all that stuff wasn't really going to be affected. Not that I need my KD to be affected or anything, like it's going to be ruined by my Control, what happens in Control. But it was just a good opportunity to not be affected and yet still try to improve on a certain aspect of recoil control, for example. And when it turned it back on, it was more fun, for one. Like, all of a sudden shots started going where they were supposed to go, and then B, it made me more aware and more appreciative of, okay, this is a thing, and when people talk about it, you know, it's there, but there's a reason for it, you know, and you can also appreciate and understand why it's there, especially when you consider what advantages other platforms have.
So you're saying that nerfing yourself to come back with a buff made the game more fun?
I guess so, if that's how you want to put it. Yeah, I'm saying that. Taking away my aim assist made me appreciate how much more fun the game could be.
I think that's a great point in itself. Maybe not for anyone that wants to. You don't have to try aim assist to get that result, but like giving yourself some sort of handicap that you're in agreement to, and then learning to come back or combat that.
Combat and build off of, utilize, maximize. Like, when I put aim assist now, I know I don't have to focus so hard on keeping the thing there on certain situations. In certain situations, I know I can just kind of relax and let the game do what it's supposed to do. Bullet, you know, shoot gun, hit man, boom, bang, boom.
Where when before you might have been stressing and made it miss.
Correct. And every minor correction that I'm trying, or micro, however we had said, micro correction I try to make on the joystick ends up being an over correction, and I miss completely, and you end up having that seesaw left and right swivel stick look, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty. I'll tell you that right now. It's not pretty.
So maybe even just practicing taking your aim assist off specifically in pubs.
Well, definitely in pubs. I mean, just know it's going to affect you. You know, it's going to affect your numbers. If you're one that doesn't care about your numbers like that, go by all means. I feel like that's why other people have Smurf accounts too, to try different things like that. But I think moving forward on the next, what's another like section that you thought you can use pubs for? I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you real quick, while you can think about that. The quitting aspect, right? I wanted to talk about quitting in pubs. As someone who does it, guilty as charged. TSKNS quits pubs, right? But at the same time, as someone, we're gonna talk. I would like to discuss it as someone who has been a part of a party who you wipe, you clutch, and that guy leaves immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel? How do you feel about when you clutch? How do you feel about the people who leave on you?
Well, if I'm playing pubs, generally I'm playing solo anyway.
Right.
Or maybe I said that wrong. Maybe I said that wrong.
To warm up, right?
What I mean, I said it wrong. What I mean is, if I'm dropping into pubs and my team and I'm 3-stacking, then, you know, that's just not going to happen. People aren't going to quit. But if I've entered into pubs and I'm playing solo, I kind of don't have any expectations from my teammates. In fact, sometimes I even just turn on no-fill and just drop. Because I usually go into pubs when I'm playing alone with a specific idea in mind to practice. And I try to place myself consistently in that scenario. So if teammates quit or they just never show up because I was no-filling, it's not really a big deal. But in ranked, that shit is just crazy. If you've clutched and you are about to grab banners...
Well, if you're leaving in ranked, then you're just a bobo head because of the penalty or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You really belong in a special place.
A bobo head.
But yeah, more or less when I'm dropping in trios on pubs by myself, I go in there with a trio, and if I have people on mics, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, especially if we've been talking and having cons. I'll give them. I'm not leaving. You know, I'll stay to the end. If I die, I die, and then try to respawn me. But if it's a game where I have, where I'm the only one with a mic, and we have nobody with a mic, and we haven't been calming through nothing, and I kind of just dip and go on to the next one. I treat it as that's my training session. You know, okay, on to the next game. Let's try to do better. But when I'm the other side of it and I clutch and they leave, I kind of just treat it as I keep it going. I just say a curse word or two and let it ride. That's your loss. I could have brought you back. I do wish they implemented a little message you can send them if you win. You know, like
that would be funny,
right? I think other games do it where like, we didn't need you anyways. You know, type of message you can just decide to send them. I don't know if that's considered toxic or whatever.
I was going to say it definitely would lead into toxic behavior regardless of whatever they designed it for.
I feel like if that was implemented, think about that for a quick second. If that was implemented where you can send the person who left, if you won, only if you won, mind you, only if you got the victory in the whole game. Right? Is that clear? I hope I'm clear about that, fans out there, listeners. Get the victory in the whole match, and that guy left, and you move that little cursor over to his little banner, and you hit the, I don't know, what do we have, right stick, instead of to report them, send them a little fuck off, you know, a little. But not in those words. I think that would be fun, but. To my question, how many people do you think would now not quit? Do you think that would affect that base at all?
The message?
Yeah, like being with that little, just being able to receive like
Nah.
a message if you quit,
Not even,
and
not
what are the
even
odds?
stopping them.
Not
That's
even,
not.
not even.
It's just gonna be cute. You're gonna get some cute messages.
You just get some key messages.
Yeah, you're definitely not gonna stop them. Oh shit, we have 3 viewers right now for some reason. Yes, Kyle. Kyle stepped in and said hello.
Kyle, Savage Kyle, TSK Savage Kyle in the chat. What's up, Kyle? Anyway, but yeah, man, like, you know, you're right. It probably wouldn't affect the base at all. You know, you get a little message, it'd be cute, little fuck off, whatever. I don't know. I think it'd be nice to send.
It would definitely feel good to send that message.
Would you even check that message? I don't even know. You probably would just see, oh, so and so sent you a message. So what?
Yeah, I would look at it just to see what that was.
Have you ever yourself sent a screenshot to somebody who you went that far? I mean, you could technically do that if you wanted to. Send a screenshot, open a message to that person, and send it. Is that too much?
In what aspect?
Well, if you get the win, you screenshot the victory of the final banner that you get there, the victory banner, right? You know how it tells you the summary at the end?
I've actually gotten that before.
You've gotten somebody to send you that, and you said, fuck off. They said, hi, you left, and we won anyways?
Yep.
And then sent you the banner? So, see, people do that anyways.
And I was like, good job, guy.
Good job. Thumbs up to you.
Yeah, I don't think he knew what was going on my end. I don't even remember.
You weren't affected at all by it, huh? You quit the very next game. You got knocked.
Yeah, exactly. And then they created no fill, and I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. Then now nobody has to suffer.
Oh man, that's nuts. Let's see what else here we had in season 12? Defiance got a new legend. So Apex gives us a new legend every season, right? And this season they gave us a legend called Maggie. And if you're into the lore, and then if you're not, I mean, if you've been playing since the beginning, you know that Apex has kind of fed us this lore pipe, bit by bit by bit. You know, it's like I feel like a tablespoon here, a teaspoon there, of what the Apex Legends is really all about. But if you just started in Apex Season 12, what you think is about is basically a prison sentence, right? Because you get that little video of Maggie being found guilty, and to the games with you. You're found guilty. You're sentenced to death at the Apex games.
Right.
Do you think that's accurate? How do you feel about that? We're Season 0 play. We've been playing since the beginning, right?
Well, they introduced that Silva had something to do with it. Octavio Silva, which is Octane's father. But, dude's so dastardly that, yeah, it's obviously something more nefarious.
I just feel it's a little twisted because, when we got the, if you can really remember to the first intro video to the game, when you downloaded the game and you were in that bar with Blisk, right? And he's like, are you better than, if you kill them, you're better. If they kill you, they're better. But if you looked at those little clippings that they kind of montaged by there, you see clippings of glory, you see clippings of fame. So it kind of gave the aspect that this is like a gladiator's arena, and there's even been transcripts that were like, oh, people want the Legends autographs. Bangalore doesn't like giving autographs. To turn it into a prison sentence, to me, it's just a little twisted. But
I don't feel like they were saying that the entire thing is a prison sentence. It was saying that Maggie is going to be sentenced to die in the games. But it didn't make sense because there was no handicap for her.
Yeah, there's no handicap for her. And then at the same time, yeah, right. It's like they dropped her in there naked and alone.
Yeah, everyone else is naked and alone when they drop too. You just got to find some guns and
find your guns and shoot. But
so no, it didn't really feel like a prison sentence. But at the same time, they've been trying to in universe, they've been trying to get more audience engagement. So maybe with Maggie being a hated person, that's allowed more engagement.
Mm-hmm. And it can't get any more random than Sears edition. I'll tell you that. A couple seasons back, that was very random. He just showed up. Like, I don't even know who he's really connected to, in the sense. I mean, he has voice lines with like Loba and I believe Octane.
I think he has one with Mirage too,
and Lifeline, and for sure Lifeline. Like they have little quibs that they say to each other when they're
also
reviving
Bloodhound
and stuff. Oh, Bloodhound as well.
But in arenas.
In arenas, that's right. But like his showing up was like a fame move. Like he's like, oh, I'm a superstar. I can just show up into the Apex. Like, it's like they really built us on a certain. I feel like Apex or Apex, whoever. I feel like the developers kind of took us down a road, and we're just whining, and they're just they're both molding it into their own image. Whatever, I love it. I'm along for the ride. What are some of your favorite things whenever a new season comes? What do you look forward to?
Well, a major part is the new character. I think that's because every time they introduce a new character, it generally shifts the entire meta of the game.
It could. It has a really good potential to. Sometimes it hasn't done that a lot,
Well, other than Maggie, necessarily, who was supposed to shake the game because of her ability to counter Gibby bubbles, do you feel like, what other legends do you feel like haven't shaken up the meta on introduction?
When it comes to shaking up the meta, I think Rampart didn't shake up the meta when she showed up. Fuse didn't shake up the meta when he showed up. Seer didn't shake up the meta when he showed up.
I think Seer, in my opinion, did. I think it was less about him being.
Maybe he shook it up so much that they had to tune him back, because now he's not there anymore. He's not in those ALG comps. He's not in the pro comps. People who grind Seer now are just grinders, from what I've seen in stream.
True,
Twitch,
but he introduced another. He was for momentum for the scan meta that's happening now, with all characters being able to scan.
Every recon. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Everyone's a scanner. Everyone's a recon. Even Maggie has recon but it's for her at least. But I don't know. Seer to me was more of a wall hack. I appreciate Seer. I'm a Seer main. Don't get me wrong. When he came, I was like, oh my gosh, I see everything. Nobody can get away from me. Like I felt like I was a man. I was getting kills left, right, and center with Seer. I thought I was gonna do something, but then after that quick nerf, it affected me. It did affect the nerf affected me. Didn't affect how I like playing him though. I still like playing him, but it did affect my gameplay just because when I miss on those scans, the heartbeat scans, like tactical, it is a bit of shot to the ego, because it's like when I'm trying to see the heartbeat sensor when I'm aiming down the sight, and it. It marks, and I hear the heartbeat, and it marks yellow, like, oh, okay, they're definitely in my range. I miss, and I'm like, what? They're right there. Like, what's going on?
What do you feel like is happening when that happens?
I think you do have a second to move out of the way, so it's possible, like, the angle that I caught them at, they're just catching a bit, and they can get away from it. They're not right in the middle or something. Or I know also what I found, the closer you are, the more area it feels like you can cover. At least it feels more accurate. But if I'm trying to scan somebody from a distance, they have more of an opportunity, I think, to dodge, or for me to miss, because the cone of vision, or the field of vision for that cone, does widen. So if I'm getting them at 75 meters, I'm getting them at a wider area. Does that make sense? Rather than if I get them in front of me, that cone is right in front of me. So think of it as a funnel, like and you're kind of using that funnel or that long cone to listen. And the closer they are, the louder they are, right? But then the further they are, you can imagine how far an imaginary line. I almost think like we're talking about geometry or something. Jeez, there's like imaginary lines that just keep going, and you can just imagine that distance kind of gets further and further apart as your lines kind of just stretch out,
Right.
So the accuracy kind of goes away when you're aiming at something that's at its furthest point rather than it's in front of you. That's more or less what I'm trying to say. Which I probably could have said. It's a very long-winded way to get there, but yeah, it's easier to get them when they're close, and it's harder to get them when they're further away. Boom.
That makes sense. Do you feel like with the cone widening, it wouldn't make it easier to catch people in it?
No, I think now that I just said that out loud, it probably helped me work through a lot of how to hit that better, because it's only logical. You know what I'm saying? It makes more sense now that I said that. I probably never, excuse me, I probably never sat down and stopped and thought about it the way I just did right now, and to think about how that would now translate into gameplay, for example, right? That's a mistake that I think I was making. I was misinterpreting the readings. Maybe they were on this corner, that corner, but at distance, it is more difficult. So I need to be more wary of how far or how close I am to the proximity of the target.
I think that goes back into what we were talking about earlier with being able to enter into pubs with a mindset, a purpose for grinding. Like, what are you working on? So you stopping time and being able to think about that tactical right there gave you more insight on how it's used, how to take more advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Same
and then now, like,
pubs.
I can drop into pubs, and now I'll be like, okay, if he's here, if I'm seeing it there, but I'm not, you know, there's probably different little cues I can try to grasp that will help me to measure those out even better. So that's what I'll have to be more aware of and look for.
Right.
Here I am, 2,500 kills into Seer, and maybe there's a new thing that I haven't really grasped yet. Isn't that crazy? That's actually pretty crazy when you think about it. You've been playing a Legend for so long, and there's still something, you can find something that you can still do better. You can still turn to benefit you.
I've been trying to figure that out with Mirage for a while.
Oh
now.
yeah, you're pretty deep. Yeah, you're pretty deep for a minute now. What can you do that's new with him, huh? Is that what you're trying to figure out? Like,
Yeah.
that's different, like something different. I mean, you can like with all the bamboozles you can do. I guess it would all depend now on the teammates you have. So like if you're bamboozling people, I'll tell you one bamboozle that got me the hardest. It was a Horizon and an Octane, or a Horizon, an Octane, and a Mirage, and they were in a Trident, and they threw, I don't know what they did, but somehow they got the Mirage to get so high that when the Mirage did his ult, it was raining Mirages. So like all the Mirages, like I'm looking up and all I see are like, you know, the 5 people, they just spread out, but in the air, and they all go into different directions, and I'm like, whoa. And then on top of that, the Tridents, like they were in a Trident, so the Trident got shot up in the air because they did a Horizon tack, and then the Octane shooting off to the side because you hear him do his, he throws his jump pad, so you're like, what's going on over there? And then that just had me so distracted, I was deleted from the game.
Damn.
But that bamboozle, but like my eyes kind of just, even in real life, I can see them widening when all those Mirage, I'm like, which one? Because from that distance, I couldn't get a beat on them. I know there's different cues that if you're fighting them and they do that in front of you, you can track it.
Yeah, in front of you, but sometimes if they went around a corner and did it, you won't know which Mirage is the real one.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on. And then he did that thing in the air, and it kind of like all blended with the sky, and I couldn't see.
Mm-hmm. One thing I like doing with Mirage is if you're pinned in a corner and you're able to launch enough decoys out of that corner, they'll eventually stop shooting the decoys because they know that you're shooting decoys out of that corner. And then they will rush you. When that happens, you have the ability to shoot a decoy at your feet and have it stand in one position, and then you run out like you're the decoy. And oftentimes they won't even shoot you anymore.
I have seen some of those clips, man. I don't know if that, to be honest, I can't remember, I can't think back if something like that's happened to me. But I remember seeing clips on YouTube where the guy will put the decoy in front of him standing there, and then he'll run out. Like I think you just said, he'll run out to a location and just stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, right? Like the
or
dummy
if you
just
do
ran
your
into
ult, just run into a wall and look real stupid, like jumping against the wall. Like most times they won't.
They won't fuck with you. You'll be like, oh, he's clearly
That's a
he's
decoy.
clearly a decoy. Clearly. And you're like, ha!
Turn around. Let me 3v1. 1v3.
Oh my goodness. So season 12 has brought us the chaotic mayhem of Control, which we used as our battlegrounds to practice and improve our recoil control for aim assist and stuff. What other things you think that you were able to learn from recoil, or not recoil? I'm sorry, from Control, from utilizing the Control LTM game mode in season 12 Apex Legends? What were some things you were able to maybe practice? If not practice, did you just go in? Let's just say, did you go in with intentions to practice on anything, or did you just go into?
Well, I attempted to, but at the time we were doing the aim assist challenge, so I was really very much so garbage when I went in there. So I would practice
so
like
true.
cover and shit like that, but I think the biggest thing that it taught me was managing my attitude, because dying a lot really upset me, and not being able to kill people. So I wound up complaining about aim assist most of the time.
Yeah, no, I believe that, but let me tell you what stemmed for me from that, because and it just made it a little bit more frustrating in the beginning, but because of the no aim assist and how we were being treated initially, you know, with other people who had aim assist, those fuckers. But it made me more I want to say tactical when it came to approaching a fight. Like I'm kind of being more crouchy around corners. I'm being more walking. I'm not running all the time. I'm not sprinting. I'm more quiet, and I'm more steady. Like I feel like if my body was steady, my recoil would be a little steady. And it took a little bit to make for the two to kind of meet up in the middle, I guess you can say. But when that happened, when I started really bringing out that tactical mentality and being kind of like SWAT team, you know how SWAT teams along the wall and they're like tight around corners. So when that started meeting with my recoil control practice and that met in the middle, that's when the beam started happening. Like people wouldn't be able to surprise me. I would be ready for them, and I would be able to shoot and then anticipate the recoil rather than them running in front of me, or me running wildly and I see them and then I just try to pull my gun out and I'm just trying to shoot and hit them. You know, like when you're the one being methodical and letting them run at you, I found it to be more easier.
That makes sense. I feel that psychologically.
Yeah. And again, it was like a slow approach. You know, it was more of a, okay, we ran in there because that's how we did initially. We were running in there. We're like, oh, I'm gonna aim assist, screw you, and we were getting mopped. And then little by little, I started realizing, okay, maybe I should stop doing that, and then I should try this, and then you try different things. So I started being, what would a SWAT team do, right? That's kind of like how I started going at it. But yeah, I'll tell you what, that no aim assist thing, 3 weeks, listeners, 3 weeks we went, Cubes and I. No, I guess I shouldn't say that, because I did turn it to PC assist. Did you turn it to PC aim assist?
Yes.
I did turn it to PC
like
game assist, but that was after 2 weeks. So solid 2 weeks, listeners. We went no aim assist, and we kind of we played a few games of Battle Royale, but like a handful at that. I don't even think I had 5 games of Battle Royale for those first 2 weeks. It wasn't until I turned the aim assist on that I started playing more Battle Royale. But that was hard. But I think I improved. I think my attitude improved. I think my appreciation for aim assist improved. So overall, I think that's a win for that experiment, for that little training session. How about you?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it made me better afterwards.
Right. I have more fun. I hold myself more responsible now. I know what I can hold myself more responsible for. I feel more things. So I think it was a definite benefit. The pain that I suffered.
Yeah, because we gave it purpose.
Right, exactly. So that goes to it, guys. If you're gonna go into this, it's a game. You're gonna have fun, but as anything you're gonna do, give it a little purpose. Give yourself a little target to go for, and if you can do that, give yourself another target. Every time you nail a goal or accomplishment in Apex, you can give something more. So it keeps track of all your stats. You can just look at your numbers and be like, all right, I want to average X amount of damage. So go and go out there and get it. Make it a realistic number, and you can do it. I think I believe it. I'm averaging like in the 300s of damage right now. What are you averaging?
I'd have to look, but I think I'm at like lifetime or like for the season.
No, just the season. We're just talking.
Yeah, I don't even know the season.
Lifetime. Yeah, I've kind of stopped looking at lifetime, and I've gone season by season since about season 5. But overall, it's like a 0.8 regardless, lifetime wise. But if I can keep it at a 0.1 from like now to eternity, I think my KD will definitely get there overall lifetime.
Yeah, I think it's definitely capable.
But it's tough. No worries on that, though. We're always good. As long as you have the support of your friends and fellow teammates.
Yeah, support. As long as we got a beamer on our team, they'll save us.
Oh, man. Let me ask you some other things that you may not, or you may have noticed, right? So in season 12, I think when you guys pointed out, and it's been useful, when you're dropping, you get those little triangles, right? Little triangles that show up on your map.
So helpful.
That let you know people are close by. On top of that,
so helpful. But it also kind of renders Valkyrie a little funny.
Well, think about it. Think about it a little bit more than maybe on drop, but she still gets it when you have your ult and when she goes into the air on jump towers. And,
okay, yeah, true. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. She's still the only one that I've noticed. The next jump tower I take in King's Canyon.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't do it. I mean, I've never had someone take the jump tower the same time as me that's an enemy, but I doubt it.
No, not that they take the jump tower the same time, but that I'm
just saying what I mean is somebody else flying in. Yeah, if they're already on the ground, they're definitely not going to pop up. But if they're flying also, that might.
Well, we'll see them if they're flying in. But another thing that they added was the little quips that if you land close to somebody, your legend will say a line that, an enemy has landed near me, They have their little personalized quips for that. But my favorite, and this has helped me out so much in this last week or so, was when you break a shield, a line is said that I have shattered an enemy shield.
Yes, that's so helpful for playing in pubs or just playing with people without mics.
Paying people without mics, that was a lifesaver right there. I think if they would have done that 4 or 5, 6 seasons ago, we probably wouldn't have said anything, and we would have accepted every change that they did with open arms. But to wait now, we're just like, I think that one is kind of like a game changer because I think the whole team can get into a push mode. It's easier for them to do that if they wanted to. You start pinging like crazy. That was great. I think that was a great game changer.
I agree, 1,000%.
Well, you hear anything that might be coming in this? We're about to hit up another event, right? The Warriors event. I really wish I knew what it's called, but there's not much leaked about it as it is.
Is the Warrior Gauntlet event coming? I want to say next Tuesday.
Yeah.
You would think it's this Tuesday, but I believe we got pushed back to next Tuesday. Crypto's Heirloom, Town Takeover. From what I understand, the Town Takeover is going to be in Storm Point, and I've seen 2-minute updates in Thornton Smash. I've seen 2 of their videos where the Reddit leaks that they found were that it would take place in that crash site that we hate. I think you and I hate it. I know I hate it. Do you hate
Hopefully they'll give it some loot, man. That's why I hate it, because I've landed there at the beginning of the season, and then you just don't have any loot.
The distance in between the loot is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Like, you've got to run a marathon before you can get to the next section of loot in that little freaking area, that little point of interest you want to call. That is not a point. That is a big old freaking humongo black hole of a interest of nothingness. Yeah. But yes, it's supposed to be a firing range, so you can imagine, listeners, if there's a firing range there, and maybe it's loaded with awesome loot, because usually those town takeovers have awesome loot, and that's probably, I've already warned my team, I'm probably going to be dropping there in Storm Point forever, forever in perpetuity, as long as it's there.
Yeah.
As long as I hope it has
definitely
great
down
loot.
to check it out.
If it has horrible loot, I'll be so disappointed.
It's got weird positioning on the map too for rotations, though. Like
I started
it's
out, you know, she's my day
bottom.
one, so I want her to be treated good. It just sucks that it took so long for Bangalore to get stuff.
Oh, I feel that.
And shout outs.
Yeah, man. Let's do those shout outs. Anybody in particular you want to drive some attention to?
I haven't really seen any Apex Legends streams new, but I do follow one Apex streamer. Her name is your_puppy on Twitch. She's got a decent following, and she's got a small Discord. Again, it's the basement, but she's a master. I've seen her grind to masters from day one splits. She's a master every split, and she's very patient. I feel like that's another thing, that you need the time to be patient, man. We haven't touched on that. Maybe we can touch on it, maybe not. But patience. This is one thing that if we ever get a chance to interview her on, I'm gonna ask her about how the fuck did you develop the infinite amount of patience and to grind these sessions, and you get there. She does it, man.
Yeah,
she
gotta have that Asu mentality.
Check her out on Twitch.
Asu never gets mad.
Puppy. Yeah, he doesn't get mad at all. But even those, you know, you only get mad. I'd like to think that you're only mad because you care about it. You know, you only feel that way because you care. But you have to be able to get over it. Build that bridge and get over it, right?
Yeah. There was a podcast that I was listening to, and it was basically saying that you become angry when your inner vision of a thing, your expectations, don't match the reality on the outside. So, in other words, you thought you were supposed to win that firefight, you lose that firefight, you're now angry. So, it's about altering your expectation and understanding, like, what is the root of your anger in facing that experience. In this case, getting murdered in pubs, dying in ranked and losing 38. I think we had a little bit of that today.
A little bit. I think, earlier today, we were jumped, and we're like, let's get some points, and we're going to rank up and beep boop bop, right? Yeah, but then you start getting washed
Not
and
even
rinsed
mad,
and
man.
hung out to dry.
We were like philanthropists. We were just out giving out KP, free KP to the world.
Might as well had a sign on floating over us, letting everybody know we were coming.
Exactly. Yeah, but I reiterate that, man. Everybody go check out your_puppy. Check out her stream.
Yeah, check out her
Tell her
stream on
Apexual Healing sent you.
That'd be awesome. Be like, oh my gosh, TSK sent you.
Anything else on your mind, man?
No, I think that's got to do it for right now. You know, I think next episode, as we're cutting it down, guys, listeners, next episode we'll have a guest host with us, and we'll get some more perspective on the game. That's what we want to do. We want to give you guys perspective. You know, this game's full of ups, it's full of downs. You know, some days you feel like you suck. Some days least days you'll feel like you're the god in this game. But either way, you know, everyone has their own experience. So you just want to be able to take bits from it and apply it to yourself if you can. And I just, have fun out there, right? That's really the main point, man. Have fun. Yeah. And try to get better.
Signaling my
drone. 1000% agree, man. I think the one thing that I would leave out on is asking the viewers, anyone or listeners, anyone who's interested in it themselves, you should give the aim assist challenge. You should give it some of your time.
Or
Turn
just
off your
even tell
aim
us what you
assist.
think, you know, if you've done it already before, or do you even notice aim assist? What are your thoughts on aim assist? I mean, I like to know. This was a revelation for me when I did it, so it only made me aware of it. Do you even know it's there? Some people don't even know. Some people don't even know aim assist is there. You know, what's aim assist?
Can you tell them how to interact with their aim assist? Just in
how do you?
case?
So check out. So yeah, you would check out your settings, right? Go to your settings. It would be under gameplay controls.
ALC.
Go all the way down, then you scroll all the way down to the advanced look controls, ALC, and then you scroll all the way down in that menu, and there's a little section called target compensation. That's your aim assist. So target compensation, you turn it off. One side note to that, the whole PC value thing, that's new. That wasn't there before. I don't know if you knew that, Cubes, but before it used to just be on off. That PC thing is new.
I think I remember that for a couple of seasons now.
Well, relatively new, I should say. But you weren't able to. I do remember when I took it off the first time just to see, what's aim assist. I turned it off. It was just on off, and then that's when I realized I never want to turn it off. But then I kind of lost respect for it. That's why we did this challenge. Because in my head, I feel like I kind of lost respect for aim assist. But that's how you would interact with that. You have two options: default and PC, or off. I guess 3 options, and you turn it off and see if you can go. See how long you can go. How much can you tolerate? But remember, know what to expect. Right? Have a goal. Have a goal in mind to what you want to try and practice. Don't just go in there thinking you're going to be Rambo without aim assist all of a sudden. Some people are, I don't know. But temper your expectations.
I think it's important. Yeah.
I think that's very important. Temper your expectations. And if you do have those thoughts and you want to send us, please reach out. I'm on Twitter, TSK_Niz083. I'm on Twitch, Niz829. And my YouTube, Niz083. Comment, subscribe, like, send me your tweets. Cubes, what do you got? Any socials you want to give the people that they can get at you?
Yeah, man. You can find me on Instagram at tsk.killycubes, and you can follow the whole crew at Total Squad Killy. Total.skwad.killy on Instagram. Check our clips out and show us some love, and we can post some of your stuff.
Absolutely, guys, and we'll see you on the next drop. Thanks for listening.